So let's talk about LinkedIn. And actually, Trent here got the extended version of my presentation. This presentation was supposed to give you 10 tips, but I have 2 slides in here that actually have 11 tips total. So if any of you want to count and tell me at the end how many I have, I'll update the title of this. But also, it was entitled 10 Tips because research shows that articles that start with the title, with the number 10 in the title, get more shares. So I tricked you. But I'm giving you more than 10, so at least it's more than I promised. LinkedIn is growing, and there's been a lot of changes happening this year, so we need to pay attention. About 40% of users are active daily, and there's a lot of case studies out there that show how companies do it well and increase revenues through it. So look up New Horizons. LinkedIn actually published this case study. Look up their case study. There's really interesting data in there, and there's others, and I'll show you one as well. It is working, but it takes work just like everything else. Hottest skill that got people hired on LinkedIn, this is the older data, is statistical analysis and data mining. And this should be good news for you. This is the type of skill set that people are looking for on LinkedIn. And maybe they'll decide to hire you instead of hiring somebody in-house with this skill set. But you gotta list it in your profile. Otherwise, they're not gonna find you. I feel like the other presenters talked a lot about this, but I will reiterate how important it is to build your ethos. And ethos is the 3 things that the Greeks said make a great logical argument, a persuasive argument. Ethos, who knows these? Ethos, logos, pathos. Ethos is the character of the speaker. Why should I believe you? Why should I care? I bet you that one of the things you will remember about me, if you don't remember any of this, is that I'm a scuba diver at the Shed Aquarium, okay? So who are you really? People don't buy from brands. They buy from people they like and trust. I'm sure you've heard this 100 times. But somehow when we build our LinkedIn profiles, we build them like resumes. LinkedIn should not be your resume. LinkedIn should be a place to tell your story. And unlike Twitter and Facebook, you have plenty of canvas here to work with and tell the story that you want them to hear and that may resonate with them. So take advantage of everything that's available to you there. And it starts with the picture at the top, your profile picture. If I see another picture of a professional in a studio like that, we are way past those days. If you really want your picture to stand out, and go to Twitter, maybe not right now. Actually, go right now and tweet at Manamica, M-A-N-A-M-I-C-A, and tell me what your questions are. But if you go in there and look at people's pictures, just a long list of people and their pictures, you're gonna notice some patterns in the background colors that they're using. There's a lot of neutrals. There's very few greens. Okay, so take a look at people in your industry, and what is everybody doing the same, and break with that pattern. For the longest time, I used a picture with a green background, and it stood out. And to this day, people think I should look like I looked 7 years ago, because that's the picture they remember. Green background, black hair, and bangs. Very different than what you'll see there. That stuff really works, okay? So pay attention to it. If you run a business with multiple people, hire a photographer, go to the park, and get professionally done photos of your folks, not staring in the camera, but interacting, so that you show that they're real people. Things to include: your accomplishments, of course, and please write to your profiles in first person. It drives me crazy when I see people talking about them like they're the Queen of England. Values and possessions, and values and passions, and possessions too. If you collect anything, I collect Legos. I bet you'll remember that too. Superpowers. What are you really, really good at? It could even be a non-tangible quality. You're very empathetic. Differentiators, testimonials. You can actually pull testimonials into your profile description itself. And of course, facts and figures, everybody loves those. And then the beautiful thing about LinkedIn is that you can also reject things. You are in control. You can make this profile be what you want it to be. This might be a little harder to read, but those endorsements that you can request from people where they say, oh, this person's great at this skill and this skill and this skill, you can ask people specifically for the skill you want. I get these messages on LinkedIn all the time. Hey, will you endorse me specifically for this skill? And then you can go and edit your profile and reorganize them so that the top one you want to show shows at the top. It doesn't have to be the default LinkedIn order. Okay, so take charge. Make this profile what you want it to be. I also get people who write to me, ask me for a recommendation, and they tell me exactly what to put in it. And you know what? I love it. You will get a review from me if you tell me what to say, as long as it's true, because then I don't have to spend the time writing it. So those of you who are gutsier, try that out. I like the way this profile is written. I like that it has bullet points, has numbers. It speaks very personally. I'm an enthusiast, and I believe that. That's a very powerful second sentence. I believe that companies that engage their people on social media have tremendous advantage over their competitors. Right off the bat, we know why we should pay attention to this person. And he doesn't just do it, he believes it. The other thing I see frequently you guys missing is adding, under each one of the job slots, so to speak, adding supportive documents, including presentations, which would take you to SlideShare. And SlideShare is a great tool to use to show your presentations. It's part of LinkedIn now. So fill out your profile. And then get premium. Nobody wants to pay for this because it's actually a lot of money, but you unlock a lot of features. And there is no excuse, if you are in sales, to be a beginner at LinkedIn. Let's say it again. There is no excuse, if you are in sales, if you're trying to get new business, especially in the B2B space, to act like a beginner at LinkedIn. So get serious about it and invest, or at least test it out for a few months, see if it works for you. I'll show you some screenshots in a bit, or afterwards, if you want to sit with me, I will show you kind of what's available there on my account. Here's a case study. This is a second-generation Chicago company, meat processing plant in the back of the yards. Very interesting history. And they didn't have success with their website. They didn't have money to build it, so we said, let's just do everything on LinkedIn. So we started blogging through the LinkedIn platform, right, where you can post actual articles, on polls, as some call it. And then we started doing outreach to catering directors at airlines around the world. And we would send them a message and say, hey, we saw that awesome video your company, Turkish Airlines, had a viral video. We wrote to the catering director at Turkish Airlines and said, hey, that was an awesome video. Congratulations. If you're ever in Chicago, let me give you a tour of the plant. And we are halal specialists, by the way, which we know is relevant to your customers. Okay, so we did this. Somebody asked the question, how long does it take, how many touch points? It didn't take as many touch points as it took a long time to develop this relationship, or these relationships, until they turned into sales. But when those sales came through, 2 major airlines closed deals. Those are big deals. Okay? It took about 2 years. But we got there, and we continue. The other thing here is that Jamie Calvetti is very brave and very unafraid to tackle topics that other people in the industry are afraid to touch upon. There's a lot of quality control issues that happen in the food industry, particularly meat, and there's been listeria outbreaks and things like that. He will tackle them head on and write about what are we doing differently, and that's why we don't have these issues happening in our plant. A lot of other companies say, oh, I don't want my competitors to steal my trade secrets. I don't want them to copy what I'm doing. They can't copy what you're doing just because you wrote a blog post about it. If it was that easy, we'd all be millionaires. Okay, so do not be afraid to share your point of view. And here come the 11 tips on top of the other tips. So there's a study out there. You could go and actually look it up. So when you get this presentation, there's a URL here at the bottom. These guys looked at 3,000 LinkedIn blog posts. And I use the word blog post so that we don't confuse them with a short post that you just post to your wall. All right, so titles between 40 and 49 characters did the best. Very interesting, a lot of this data matches blogging data, like if you were to blog on your website. Make them visual, 8 images. I saw the same data about blogging. Put 8 images in your blog post. Don't add videos or other multimedia assets, and the reason for that I'll show later is because LinkedIn wants to keep the traffic within LinkedIn. So if you try to plug in like a YouTube video, it doesn't like that. How to and list style headlines. Like the title I gave you today, that was totally not true, but it works. And then avoid question headlines. This one is an interesting one, but you as the experts are expected to know, not question. And you're expected to give definitive answers, not open it up for discussion necessarily. Okay? Divide your blog post into 5 headings, so 5 sections, or it can be 8, or it can be 3, but don't just have one big blob of text. Long format, this works actually again in blogging too. Very interesting numbers here. 2,000 words long. That's a really long article. And that implies quality. That implies that you've really thought through and you have something to say. You're not just summarizing somebody else's ideas. Google likes really long articles as well. Don't get your audience all fired up. That's the place of Facebook. Maybe. Keep it neutral. Again, you're here to deliver expertise. LinkedIn is about expertise. It's not so much about entertainment or political debates. Readability, 11-year-old, I'm sure you hear these numbers about writing in general. And then promote your LinkedIn posts on other social networks. And it's a funny one, but people don't do it. They'll post a blog on LinkedIn, then promote it on LinkedIn, but not on Facebook or on Twitter. It's almost like that crossover is gonna make things explode or something. It's like dynamite. So you're like mixing chemicals that don't match or something. No, cross them over. And then Thursday seems to be the day that works the best. Interestingly enough, we see the same data with blog posts and email newsletters. Okay, so Thursdays is a good day to publish. Cross-promoting, when I was talking to Trent, there were like a few tips that I didn't put in here. But there's a trick you can use. You can download your LinkedIn contacts. You can do that, and that gives you their email address. You can upload those email addresses into Facebook as an audience that you run ads towards. So you can promote your blog posts. You can do promoted posts on LinkedIn on Facebook targeting your LinkedIn audiences. Or you can promote something else on Facebook targeting your LinkedIn audiences. Assuming that you have a lot of people you're connected with, but they're not really active on LinkedIn, you catch them on Facebook. See, I keep feeling like I'm skipping tips because I probably am thinking I have 100 in here. All right. This data is not 100% proven, but there's been some observation made out there, and a lot of folks are writing about this, so it's something that you can test out. Keeping the text short on your post. So this is not the blog post. This is when you post an update to LinkedIn. Keep that text short and use an image. Don't use links. Then, once your post picks up steam, you can lengthen it, or you can put a link in it, or you can put a link in the comments. And the reason for this is that it appears that LinkedIn, and actually this is true on Facebook too, LinkedIn's algorithm says, I don't want to send traffic off LinkedIn, I want to keep people on LinkedIn, so it favors posts that have image and text, but that don't really send people off site. But there's ways to hack it, right? So again, You can extend the length of your post later, or you can put the link in the comments instead of having it in the post itself. Play with it. Some people say it's working. Some people say, I didn't really see a difference, because there's probably so many variables at play. But it's worth giving it a try. So posting the link in comments, I mentioned that. Publishing your blog posts on LinkedIn Publisher, and then linking to those instead of websites. So basically what we're saying here is that we want to recycle blog post content. So a few weeks after you publish it on your site, you can put it on LinkedIn, and then, or immediately if you want to, and then link from a wall post to that LinkedIn blog post. You could also publish on LinkedIn as a blog post, but a short version of what you have on the website with a link that says, click here to read the rest. And then you redirect them from your wall, from a post, to the LinkedIn blog post, from the LinkedIn blog post to your website. I know it's a long route, but these are all hacks that are meant to get those posts to get more visibility, to work with the LinkedIn algorithm instead of against it. Create or join pods. That screenshot is tiny. But basically, I'm part of a LinkedIn engagement pod, and whenever we publish something, whether it's just a wall post, an announcement, an event, a blog post, we link it in there, and then we go and interact with each other's posts. Again, because the LinkedIn algorithm, once it sees that a lot of people are engaging with your post, will show that post at the top of somebody else's feed. So this is basically bloggers helping bloggers push their content to the top so that we get more visibility from other people. And that happens everywhere. There's massive Instagram pods that you can be part of if Instagram is your play. There's a lot of groups like that where bloggers or writers help each other. Another really interesting thing here is that although LinkedIn is more professional B2B, what we've seen recently in the past year is that it's shifting. A lot of people are complaining that LinkedIn is becoming like Facebook. And I'm sure you've seen these people posting pictures of their pets and things. But it's happening because it works. Okay? And this testimonial basically says that once she started writing like a human being instead of writing headlines, once she started injecting her commentary into the posts that she was putting out there, she saw a 20-fold increase in engagement levels. And Trenton and I were talking about this. We are so obsessed with perfection as brands, with every post being just perfect, every comma where it's supposed to be, every word is being overthought, and then we end up sounding like robots. Mistakes are good. It makes you look real. If you look at how real people post things on social media, they break with rules. They break with grammar rules. They have typos. They may miss punctuation marks. And guess what? They get more engagement on their posts than we get on ours as brands. And the reason for that is that they're real, they're genuine, and it shows that they're doing things in real time with passion. So allow yourselves to be imperfect. When you get that email from LinkedIn that says so-and-so has been in the news, go over and give them a congratulations. Okay, stay top of mind with people. Ego is a huge motivator on social media. People are on social media to fulfill very immediate personal needs. Even if it's a career need or a professional need, it's still a personal one. And actually, Trenton helped me come up with this full, complete thought right before this presentation. Because whether it's that I want to get a promotion and look good to my boss, or whether it's that I'm sad and I don't feel very good about myself, so I want to post a selfie and get likes so that I feel better about myself, I'm usually online, me as the universal us, to fulfill some fairly personal needs. So ego is very, very powerful. So when you give people congratulations because they're in the news or they won an award, you're going to get on their radars because they are there, they're online waiting for that to happen. They're waiting for people to tell them they're awesome. Live video is here, and I was going to try it today at this conference. It only works from your mobile phones, and it's being used a lot right now. I'm seeing it used from conferences every day. And also, there's filters like Snapchat filters and now the Facebook filters. Again, the networks are crossing over. It's all happening. But when you look at these videos, you'll see how much more engagement they get than regular posts. So try it out. You have opportunities at this conference to do it, to have quick Q&As with each other and post them to your walls. It may turn into a pod. This may turn into a pod right here at the conference where you help each other get more reach. Create a viral challenge. You've seen this, have you guys seen the Facebook one, 7 days black and white pictures or whatever it is? And then you tag somebody and then they have to post black and white pictures for 7 days. This is kind of the same thing. But it's a video challenge where there's a theme, and every day these people are posting a video with an answer. So it's a professional theme, it's a business. I don't even remember what it was. And they post a tip every day via video, LinkedIn video, and then they tag somebody else. The concept of memes actually comes, this is what memes originally were. In the early days of blogging, we would have these memes where we would write a blog post, and then we would say, I want these 3 bloggers to respond to my blog post. And then those 3 bloggers would write blog posts and link back to us. And then we built links, and we ranked first in Google. And you can still do that too, but you can do it with videos here, Facebook, wherever you want to do it. Another big tip is to set a schedule. None of us have time to do all of this and to do it across all channels, right? I preach these and I barely do them for myself. So I get it, I totally get it. But it helps to hold yourself accountable if you write up a schedule of the things you will do weekly, daily, and so on. We call these the daily workouts because it's like a fitness program. You have to do a little bit every day to build muscles, to lose weight, whatever your fitness goal is. So it's kind of the same here. Then send a message to the people who look at your profiles. We don't do this enough, but there's a reason why they looked at your profile. They were searching for something. They were curious about something. I get this question, isn't it creepy if I would send them a message and say, they looked at my profile? Well, isn't it creepy that they looked at your profile? It isn't, right? We're there to network. It's called a social network because we're there to socialize and network, right? So if they look at your profile, you can see, right, as you log in, on the left-hand side, you can see that, click on it. And if it's a relevant, potential, good business contact, write to them and say, hey, I saw you looked at my profile. Say something personal about them. Remember those ego boosts? We call it validate, state, and ask. Validate them, make a statement, ask a question like, how can I help? This is somebody who wrote to me. They read an article I wrote about this, and it worked with the first person she tried it on. Okay? She got a lead right away, a warm lead right away. Another thing, don't miss LinkedIn contacts. Also because, even if you're not gonna engage with them, also because remember, you can download all those contacts and reach them somewhere else. That data is gold. So you can use plugins to make sure that anytime you email with somebody, you can connect with them right away. If you have Sales Navigator, there's a Chrome add-on for Sales Navigator that shows you on the right-hand side of your email the LinkedIn accounts of the people you're emailing with, so it makes it quick to connect with them that way. If you don't have Sales Navigator, this is a great tool. Clearbit. Then when you go into the app or on the website, it tells you, oh, so-and-so has a birthday, so on and so forth. Do take the time to write to some of those folks, even if you only do it once a week. But again, try to stay top of mind with the people you're already connected with, because you never know. Then use the apps. There are 9 LinkedIn apps. I kid you not. 3 of them are premium apps. But just to get some ideas of what other people are doing, go in there and take a peek. Then max out on your groups and make friends with group moderators. Biggest complaint I hear is that my posts don't make it through, they're never gonna allow my posts. That's because they don't know you. So you can go into settings and see who are the group moderators, and you can start interacting with them one-on-one, build that relationship, and then ask for their permission before you post something. Hey, I have this going on. Do you mind if I put it in the group? I bet you they'll allow it in the group, or they will tell you under what conditions that is possible. Either way, you're gonna look great in their eyes, and you're gonna get a lot more traction from being in that group. And then keep engaging. And now you can build those into the daily workouts, like other people's posts and so on. And then the advanced options. I told you about Sales Navigator. If you don't have it and you want to take a peek at mine, I can stay for a little bit, but you have so many options in here. I can save leads and see what they're posting and interact with them. It gives me data. It tells me who's viewed my account, and so on. So there's so many options that you don't have in the main LinkedIn account. But my favorites are also these lead news and lead shares, so I could see what they're posting and actually comment and like their posts. Again, ego boost, validate, state and ask, that type of stuff. So those are the tips I have for today. Did anybody count how many there were? No. Well, we have the video. We can go back through it. All right, questions?